Welcome back to MLM Headline Online News. I'm Clifton Jolly, and we're joined today by John Costino, a name I've been mispronouncing all day long. John Costino, who is the Chief Networking Officer for Lyconet Americas. John, we left kind of at the break knowing we were going to come back and talk about some of the changes that have been happening at Lyconet. And everybody knows that last fall, Lyconet introduced a new program, a new company, Lyconet. Lyconet services the marketers, the people who give away memberships, whereas Lyconet continues to be the membership network and also the loyalty merchant network, SMEs and so forth. And you have put together, as I understand it, a game plan that essentially pulls together and incorporates all of your principles of giving people away and giving them behaviors that allows them to work their way to success. Take us where you're going.
Rather than me do a monologue, please feel free to interrupt and ask questions. Obviously, I'm very excited about this. As you know, I enjoy coming to work with companies that have tremendous potential, that I won't even call them changes. Sometimes it's little minor tweaks to enhance an existing program that's just missing the mark. I know I always joke with people, it could be like playing the game of golf. When you play golf, if you're off 1 degree when that club hits the ball, it looks great for the first 150, 200 yards, and then it ends up in the woods or the water, and you didn't know that until it was far enough down the fairway. And that's what a lot of companies do. They are hitting what they believe to be a flush shot, but a few years down the road, they start to see the hook or the slice. And I look at Lyconet and Lyconet that way. And yes, to answer your question, I'm really excited to share what's going on with Lyconet and Lyconet. Again, my goal is to make the opportunity affordable. Affordable is a relative term for me. I like to be able to say anybody that wants to can join, can enroll, and to make it as limited as possible as far as risk and exposure. So when it comes to what we're doing now with Lyconet, nothing has changed with the concept that, as I talked earlier, of unifying consumers in local communities, statewide, nationwide. Really, my job is North and South America, and there should be no difference whether you're up in Canada or down in Mexico or Brazil. It's the same concept. We as families, we as individuals are going to spend our money in certain areas, whether it's food, fuel, clothing, whatever. And let's go ahead and unify that gigantic cooperative consumer network to shop through the Lyconet community, whether it's local SME merchants or retail stores that they're going to visit online. The goal here is to take the consumer shopping membership and the merchant network development and bridge that with the home-based business, or the, what no one likes to say, network marketers. That's what we are. That's what I've been for 25 years. I'm proud to say it. And the reason I'm proud to say it is if you're doing it right, let everybody know.
That's great, John. Now, anybody who knows me knows that the last thing in the world you want to do is take advice about compensation plans from a PhD in English. I've been 30 years in this business, and I've always turned to people like you to help me understand not only compensation strategy, but as I tell people all the time, you don't have to understand the comp plan to be able to make money. You know, you have to understand what to do so as to be able to make money.
Fair statement.
What do people need to do in this compensation strategy? First of all, as I understand it, you have reduced the price of the distributor kit to $49.
Correct.
An at-cost distributor kit.
Correct. That's the first thing. We lowered the we'll just say the barrier to entry, which was $199, down to $49, which I believe is a reasonable number. And again, you're getting some materials and supplies and some tools you need to go out there and market
and that's
your business.
A required expense, I think, in every state except maybe North Dakota. Is it South Dakota? I can't remember. But in all of the other states, you're permitted to require the purchase of an at-cost distributor kit. $49 instead of, they used to have a package for a $199 or something?
Correct.
All right, so $49 to get started begins to satisfy your notion that anybody who wants to become involved and work their way to success, they can do it.
Absolutely. And again, that's still voluntary. You can become a member of Lyconet. No cost, no investment. It's free to join. Mm-hmm. It's also free to refer and give away the membership to other people. So I want to stress, choosing to participate as a marketer within Lyconet, optional and voluntary. So you can still go and join Lyconet and become a consumer, a cooperative shopper, and actually generate cash back and referrals, earn commissions for referring people without spending a dime, which again was very important to me.
And if they don't want to do either one of those, you should have turned this off at the last commercial because we warned you that the pitch was coming. Okay?
Hey, this is the cleanest one out there, so I'm happy to put my name and endorse it.
That's wonderful. All right, John, so you got the at-cost distributor kit. What's next in terms of generating shopping volume or whatever a person needs to do?
Again, a multitude of options, all voluntary. For sake of this video, let's talk about one path. It's optional, it's voluntary. But if I want to go out there and make money, and let's be clear about this, this is a video to teach representatives how to make money in their opportunity.
Yep.
Every company has a plan, a path, guidelines, whatever they want to call it. This just, for me, is a 90-day game plan for the new rep and a 6-month blueprint to have some stability and some success. So what we're going to talk about is if I were a new representative, a marketer in Lyconet, and I said, I want to make money, I'm serious about making money, can you show me a path to be in profit and start to make money because I need to feed my family. I need to have that additional money to make ends meet. Well, a path that I would recommend, that I would take myself, is I need to create 50 shopping points. My goal, my target is 50 shopping points. And there's a lot of different ways to go out there and create those shopping points. But to keep
things... And those are retail shopping points.
Retail shopping points.
Yeah.
It's those of my customers that I've referred in and that they've referred in. So again, we're talking about it could be a lot of people. But we need to create 50 shopping points in the month. And in creating those 50 shopping points, it creates a loyalty unit in the balance program, which is what we're going to talk about right now as a way, one of the ways, one of the methods, one of the game plans for making money as a marketer. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to create those 50 shopping points. And my goal in my first month is to identify and find 5 other business partners, representatives, marketers that want to create those 50 shopping points. And before we go too deep into it, one of the things that I get challenged all the time is, hey, we've seen these things on the board before. I mean, for heaven's sake, they've been on the board as far as back as chalk and whiteboards and so forth. There's a reason why I stand confident in what I'm talking about, because I take a different philosophy. You've heard the phrase, throw mud up against the wall and see what sticks. That's what the majority of network marketers do. It's a bring them in, churn and burn, and see what sticks. I'm not a big fan of that. Hopefully you've gotten that from me in our conversations, that I'm not interested in getting people in. There's already too many people willing to do that, which is why there's over 90% that fail. I'd rather sort you at the door. I'd rather teach my people, those that I train, to sort people respectfully and politely, that if they're not going to do what needs to be done, if they're not willing to commit to what really needs to happen in order to have success, don't bring them in. Why add to the pile of bodies of people that have tried and failed when it would be just as easy to say, you know what, it may not be for you, and instead sort 45 of the 50 at the door so that the 5 that come in want to be successful.
And the reason you're sorting is because you don't make any money for just signing reps up. you've got to begin generating those shopping points, which represent retail shopping, basically.
Absolutely, but for heaven's sake, we shouldn't want to just sign people up. Again, I can't speak for everybody's integrity, but I can speak for the fact that I was hired to train and develop a sales force. So you better believe that everything that comes out of my mouth that's going to be on video, audio, or that I teach will be as high character and integrity as possible. And again, it's not about getting people in. It's about finding people who want to be successful and then giving them the best chance to succeed. Mm-hmm. That's where I developed the 4 core principles, which we'll refer to here in the game plan, because I promise you, without the 4 core principles, this doesn't work, not just here, anywhere. And the reason why most people struggle and fail is they're afraid to sort and to basically give people the real scoop. This is what it takes to be successful. They'd rather paint false expectations and let them figure it out on their own.
So you're going to generate the shopping points. You're looking for 5 people who are going to join you in the business, and they are themselves going to generate the shopping points.
Correct.
And they're going to do that by giving away the membership and a variety of other strategies.
Correct.
Take us from there to these the 4 core principles.
The 4 core principles apply to everybody, and you can't shortchange them, you can't skip them. The first one is real simple. What I don't like to hear is when people say, I'm going to give it a try. Giving it a try is almost a guaranteed failure because you're not prepared to do this, and you have to accept that you're going to go through a learning curve, and that learning curve means you're going to stumble, you're going to bumble, you're going to fail. You're going to fall, but it's not a permanent failure. You pick yourself back up. So the first core principle is, will you commit to 4 months minimum? Will you give me a full effort for 4 months? If you're not going to commit to 4 months, don't even start. Okay, so I have no problem asking somebody to do that. The second is critical. During those 4 months, be willing to learn how to do this. And this is where I get into a challenge with people, because I'm not being a control freak, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm simply saying that in other areas of our lives, we've given up that freedom and that control to do things a certain way in order for success. And the easiest one is driving a car. We all have driver's license, which means we've all agreed to certain rules of the road. Now, I'll say this on video. I drive fast. I'd prefer to drive 90, 95, 100 when there's a wide open road and there's no cars. But it's illegal. So if I choose to drive 100 miles per hour everywhere I go, I will lose my license because at some point the police will find me. So I made the decision that what I want to do is less important than what I'm required to do by law. Okay, so we agree to certain things. If you want to be successful in home-based business, not try it, if you want to be successful, then do the same thing. Agree that for the first 4 months, you're going to learn how to do it the right way. You're going to practice and prepare yourself to be successful. If you're not willing to commit to that, that's like saying, I want to give me the keys to a car, but I'm going to drive any way I want. Pretty much going to guarantee that you will cause accidents, kill yourself or someone else, simply because you didn't follow the rules of the road. Option 3, or core principle number 3, is that in your first 30 days, in order to be successful, you must develop a team. You can have a minimum level of success by yourself, but that doesn't take advantage of the benefit and the real leverage that the home-based business network marketing industry offers, which is incorporating the efforts of other people. So when you get started in your first 30 days, when you're still excited about the opportunity, when you're still willing to learn and apply what you're being taught, your goal and your commitment is that you will talk to as many people as necessary through the training that you just agreed that you would follow until you found your 5 partners. I like to call them your 5, business partners or board of directors, but your 5 key people, and you got to do it within your first 30 days. Now, core principle 4 is where a lot of people drop the ball. You have to commit that after your first month and identifying your 5 partners, your 5 board of directors, that you're going to commit to help each of them get their 5. Because remember, I didn't say find 5 people. I said find 5 people willing to what? Commit to these 4 principles and to generate the 50 shopping points between their spending and those of their customers and the referrals of their customers. So that 4th core principle ensures that we're going to have duplication, that we're going to have growth, not because I say so, Not because you hope so, but because it's part of our job description. Get our 5, but make sure that those 5 coming in are supported, that in their first month, they have the assistance between you and your upline sponsorship to get their 5 business partners within their first 30 days. Those 4 core principles are the baseline of where my success has come from. It's not an accident. It wasn't luck. I feel fortunate and blessed, but it was by design.
And so a big part of this design then has to do with productivity. And not only productivity in terms of finding people to participate with you, but also productivity in terms of generating shopping points. And as I understand it, there's a presentation that explains how to go about achieving the shopping points and all of that. Talk to us a little bit about the SME program and the opportunity that members and marketers have to enlist the merchants where they already shop in this program.
Absolutely. In fact, it's a great question, because when I was first looking at this company, everybody talked about this free membership. And the only question that you could get when someone says, here's a free membership, the only question that you could get would be, where can I use it? It's a natural question, and it's a question nobody really had an answer to. And what I'm going to say to you is, where people were hesitating to say, oh, we don't have a huge merchant network set up yet, I looked at that as an opportunity, because if I'm talking to you about a free membership and I say, Clifton, you're my buddy, I want you to have this free membership, your question back to me is what?
Where can I use it?
Right. So instead of getting nervous and backpedaling and saying, I don't know, I'm going to say, we're just setting up the merchant network here and it doesn't matter what local community. So my question to you is, right now, where do you, your wife, your family enjoy spending your money? What restaurants do you actually enjoy going out to? Because what I want to do is, as a member who's coming into this network, I want to know, where do you want to spend your money? Because we can now go talk to that merchant, that restaurant, that auto repair shop, that hair and nail salon, wherever you and your family are spending your money. We can go out there and introduce them to the merchant network. And one of the neat enhancements that we now have in this program is there's 2 different income streams created when that new merchant joins the SME network. And I won't go into all the details, but you as a member, for successfully recommending and referring a merchant into the network, can earn $100. And as the SME certified advisor, who's going to meet with that merchant, explain the nuts and bolts, answer their questions, and then successfully onboard them, you can earn $200. And there's additional performance bonuses available, but there's an income stream attached to the successful development of that merchant network, which is in addition to the fact that when you refer a merchant into the program, and that merchant gives away the free membership to their customers, to their friends and family, and those members either support that existing business or any other merchant in the network, you're creating shopping points. So the idea is, you can create career points for your advancement. You can create shopping points based on the transactions that are done at that retail store. And you can create an income stream if you choose to go out there and actively get involved in the development of that merchant network. So again, I could go into many different income streams available, but that's the beauty of this program, is you can pretty much decide to participate in what you want and steer clear of the things that don't really kind of create a passion in you.
All right, John. So we've talked about month 1.
Month 1, you're committing to the 4 core principles, including you're going to identify your 5 board of directors, your 5 key business partners. That's number 1.
Month 2.
Month 2, again, you've committed that you're going to help your 5. And those 5 are not just willy-nilly, let's see if this works. They've committed to the 4 core principles. So again, you're building on a solid foundation of people who are saying, I want to start a business. I want to be successful in this business. I'm willing to run it like a business and commit to these principles, not Throw mud up against the wall, see what sticks, and hope it works. So yeah, in month 2, you're actively assisting those 5 in identifying and developing. And by the way, you can do more than 5, but you're going to do at least 5. So now we've got 25 new, excited business partners, marketers, who didn't just join, but they committed to those 4 principles. So they are committed to developing the 50 shopping points with their own purchases, as well as those of their customers and the referrals of their customers. And they've also committed to what? Get their 5 business partners within their first 30 days. So month 3, if you were to do this in a theoretical, hypothetical example, month 1, you got your 5 business partners. Month 2, you help them get their 5, which is 25. And in month 3, together, you're helping each of those 25. And this is important because a lot of times people get lost. They see the enormous number. And I'm like, stop. Everybody's committing to doing a little bit. You know, you could build the brick wall of China if you had 100,000 people move a brick every day. And something magical happens in that 90-day game plan. That unit that you created when you generated your 50 shopping points between you and your customers is now cycling through the balance program. And as it cycles through the balance program, it creates $165 in cash that's deposited in your bank account that you can go spend any way you want, anywhere you want. And it creates an additional $600 in what we're just going to call Lyconet shopping credit. And what that basically does is it allows you to take that $600 and spend it to buy gift cards, to spend it at any of the merchants, which means if you want to take your wife out to dinner or you need to get your car repaired, if you can find a merchant within your network, you can use that dollar for dollar. So you've just created, in effect, $765 that you can spend within the Lyconet network. And like I said, $165 that you can go do anything you want with. But the key here is, again, we're creating a network of consumers and shoppers that are agreeing that they want to take advantage of their leveraged buying power, their consumer spending, into a network that gives them value and benefits. And when people say, the cash back's not that big of a deal, we just talked about 90 days to where the spending that you were going to do anyway created a $600 credit in a community because you chose to discern and to be clear on where you spent your money versus just spending it anywhere. And to me, that's worth a whole lot more than whatever cash back doesn't excite you.
Something else is important that you said a little ways back, and that is that you can recruit more than 5.
Absolutely.
And in point of fact, you probably are going to need to, because 5 recruiting 5, it's never going to develop perfectly. You're going to have, somebody's going to, get lazy. Somebody's going to get hit by a bus. I don't know. But you need to keep that ranks full.
Correct.
So as to be able to keep your organization moving forward.
Correct. It's never, ever going to build perfectly. And I can't control what anyone else does but me. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you we can qualify a lot harder on the door on the way in, which prevents people from dropping out. That's all I ever offer is don't try to get everyone, because then the law of averages does play out. But let's just be real honest about this. If we sort and we are specific with expectations, if I tell you what I expect of you and what you can expect of me, we have a much better working relationship than me painting pie in the sky, get rich quick, and you going, cool, I need a lottery ticket, and then realizing there's work involved that I didn't tell you about. So, yeah, will people be lazy? Of course. Are some people stupid? Of course. But we can minimize that percentage by being upfront and honest as they're coming in.
And maybe for some people it'll take longer than 90 days?
Let's just say it took 6 months. What if it took a year? What if it took a year to go from you to that network of 5 developing 5 developing 5? If it took a year, but at the end of a year, you did the same shopping that you were going to do anyway, and because of the network that was developed and because of the shopping and the transactions and the points that were created, at the end of a year, you had $165 in cash plus $600 in the Lyconet shopping credit. Would it be worth if you didn't do anything that was unnatural or didn't feel right?
And the fact is, this is essentially how you built a network over years of more than 1 million people.
Correct. And I won't even say I built it. I promise you, I say this all the time. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I will take the credit for having a very clearly defined system that I didn't budge on, and I don't budge on now. I tell people, you don't have to do what I'm saying. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to say if you want to be successful, it's like if you want to get from New York to San Diego, you will travel 3,000 miles. You can fly, you can get in the car, you can ride a bike, you can walk. I don't care, but you will, if you want to get to San Diego, you got to go 3,000 miles. I'm saying you got to go 3,000 miles. It's up to you. If you want to walk, walk. I'd rather put you on a plane and fly you there, and that's what my training does, is it gives you the option to get there in 3 hours, not in 3 months.
Let's assume that people do their 5+5. It may take them 90 days, 120 days, a year, however it takes them. And they proceed to build an organization. Where is this potentially taking them?
I'm glad you asked. And again, I will say that the amount of time that it takes is on you. Do this as fast or as slow as you want. The principles won't change, and the blueprint won't change. The goal is, if you're not willing to make sure that the new person coming in has the same marching orders, then it's chaos and we're just throwing mud up against the wall. I'm talking about every person that's joining agreeing to the fact that I have to learn how to do this. And my first 30 days, I'm going to find my 5 business partners. And I'm okay with talking to 100 and having 75 tell me I'm nuts and another 10 tell me I'm crazy. As long as I can get 5 that say, you know what, if this is going to work, I'm in. Let's go do this. But they're committing to the same 4 principles. And the reason I'm so hardcore and I won't bend on this is when people say to me, that doesn't work, I say it works if you execute it. It doesn't work if you hope. This works to the where in month 4, if you're looking at this and each of those 125 brand new, excited people who just said, yes, I want to join. Yes, I'll commit to these 4 principles. What are they actually committing to doing? What have they agreed to do? Find their 5. Is that too much to ask of any one person? The reason I'm hitting you over the head with that is if we can agree that every one person who's coming in, having had the chance to say thanks but no thanks, but chose, yes, I want to be a part of it, we're not asking them to do too much. We're saying 5 is your number, but through exponential growth. And the reason why people can't say no to me is I've lived it. Not 1 company, not 2 companies, but in 3 companies. And I'm not even taking credit because my last company, I was an executive and an owner, but you better believe I acted like a rep, just like I act like a rep here. I love watching this work. But it doesn't happen by accident. Now we go into month 4. And in month 4, everybody's got the same marching orders. They're not being told what to do. They've already agreed they're willing to do it in order to be successful. They want to do it. They're excited to do it. Well, in month 4, you will actually come in and qualify yourself at career level 3. And it includes other income and other benefits, but we're not going to get specific on that in here. We're just talking about the fact that you came in and you followed a plan, a blueprint for success, a blueprint for development, that in month 4, you qualified yourself as a career level 3 in the Lyconet marketing opportunity. And not to beat a dead horse, but every one of those people coming in during month 4, we have to agree. We have to make sure that they're going to understand, they're going to know that this is their responsibility, these 4 core principles are what they're going to do. And in month 5, guess what? Nobody's being asked to do anything different than anyone else. So it doesn't get exponentially harder. It doesn't get exponentially more work. It's the same exact job. It's like an assembly line We all know the assembly line made the development and creation of a car easier, faster, more efficient, more effective. That's all we're doing here is we're creating an assembly line. We're creating a systematic way to develop a business that takes away the skill set and the talent of any one person and putting it into a program where if you're willing to do certain things and you're willing to commit to them, magically, and it's not magic, it's by design, you will have the success that eludes the majority of people. Is it a guarantee? No, because there's always the human element. But what we're doing is we're giving you the best chance to succeed in the healthiest environment. But in month number 5, you're going to qualify. You're going to qualify as a career level 5. And what happens is you're going to come in, you're going to develop, you're going to teach, you're going to duplicate. And in month number 6, the people that came in month number 5 have already committed, they've already agreed to, and they're going to follow that same game plan that you in month number 6 have qualified career level 6. I'll stop there because we could continue down that same road, but I think you see the important part that I'm trying to drive home is this. We can't hope that people do it. We can't tell people to do it. We can't assume anyone's going to do anything. It's a program that's designed for us to commit to certain things, to put the expectations on the table, the responsibilities on the table, and find people that will agree to it. But keeping it as simple as coming in and in your first month, agreeing to learn how to do this, find your 5, and in your second month, help them find their 5. It doesn't get much simpler than that. And through the Lyconet and Lyconet opportunity, you've got the chance to go out there and develop a huge shopping network. Because remember, we're just talking about marketers. The 5 marketers could be hundreds, if not thousands, of free shoppers. And what are we doing this for? Getting consumers into the shopping network, a cooperative network of consumers who are agreeing, I want to spend my money through this network to get the value, to get the cash back, to get the commissions for referring. And as I said, there's a host of other benefits. But in a nutshell, it's a shopping network of like-minded consumers saying, together, we can go out there and maximize the benefit of our shopping dollars.
John Costino, thank you very much for joining us on MLM Headlines Online News. We look forward to seeing you again.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks so much.